so let's see if I can do this. Got a flashlight. And I found another one. I'm sure my wife's excited. I mean, I drag shit home way too often. This is a nice guy who has a house right next to my shop in town, not my own shop. Let me stop shaking the camera. This, I'm sure, wow, it looks good on camera, is a 1986 C10, also known as early Silverado. I bought it. It barely runs. It's got lots of problems. And it's got that shitty spare on it because I drove it home. These are probably as old as the truck. That was fun, doing 50 in a truck I've never driven before. I think the second I hit 50, it just decided to blow up. But it's a rear tire, so not too bad. But anyway, it's pretty haggard. I mean, the tailgate's being held open by a ratchet strap I put there. It's got a piece of wood they shoved into the tailgate. I mean, look, that's fucking wood. No latches, just kind of there. Exhaust is rotted to shit. It's got dual tanks. Doesn't look too bad now. I mean, this thing, the exhaust is rusty, but for being in Washington, I bought it from the original owner. Well, I bought it from his friend. I'll get into that in a second. Kind of sad. The grill doesn't belong to this truck. This is one of the trucks that have the running lights. Well, not even really running lights because they don't turn on when you turn the key. But small lights here. So this actually is the wrong grill for the truck. There's the turn signal, just kind of gives it away. So this isn't a dual headlight truck. A lot of people would think so, but did give away. You see the hole there? See, there's no hole there where it's open. So somebody just jammed that grill on there. But anyway, I had a thing in the window for $600. I got it for $460. I already cleaned it, which I probably should have taken a video when it was nasty, but originally the truck was red, hence the terrible red and burgundy bullshit going on inside. Oh, you hear the coyotes? Burlap. Like I said, I vacuumed. I mean, I cleaned. This thing was gross. And then I had a dash pad. But, interior is not too bad. I mean, this thing is not fucking rusty. Cab corners. It's amazing. But, it says 83,000 miles. Which is probably 183 before the speedometer. Every gauge in this thing doesn't work except for the fuel gauge. But, I'm a freak about having music even before a vehicle's done. I don't like going on test drives without music. So I threw a shitty radio in it from the Geo Metro, the $100 beater. But so far, I did that. Put a headliner, not a headliner, what the fuck am I talking about? I had one of these laying around from my old C20. But this dash is fucked. Fortunately, this generation of trucks, these dash pads are expensive. You know, like 67 through, what, 72, 73. Those are cheap. They're like $80. I mean, it's not cheap, but yeah, this one's fucked. So, I had one of these laying around from I think it was a Suburban or something I used to have. It was just sitting in baggage, so looks a little better. Doesn't totally disgust me, but yeah, I mean, it's all here. The story was, the nice gentleman who owned this passed away before Christmas. He was camping, had a fire going, and had a sleeping bag laying close to the fire while sitting in a chair. I'm assuming he was drinking. I know he was probably high, given that there was weed in this thing, and the guy I bought it from, you know, was an old hippie. But sleep mat got on fire. He inhaled smoke, so he passed out, and then he fell in the fire. So that's like the horror story. I mean, that's like my worst nightmare, is burning to death. So I'm gonna try to do this one right, not just by the guy, but by his friend. So runs like shit. I mean, it's got like, this is like the first electronically controlled but non-computer stuff GM came out with. You know, it's electric carb quadrajet. These aren't bad, but they're real bitch to rebuild. Engine seems okay. So I think the goal for this one is throw a Holly on it, or inside I got a Carter I might rebuild and throw it on it. Change all the hoses, all the vacuum lines, all that bullshit. Probably not gonna do much of the interior, just clean it up and put an exhaust on it, new tires. I don't think I'm gonna do anything to the body. I'm definitely gonna find a new tailgate, because this is ridiculous. A lot of stuff seems to work. So runs crappy because the carb doesn't have a thermostat. And I can tell because, for one, it doesn't have heat, and two, when the thing was completely cold, you pull the cap off and there's water flying through it like fucking crazy, and it never gets up to temp. It gets up to like 120. So go through that, go through the front fascia, get a new grill, lights, new lens covers, tires, exhaust, clean interior, get a windshield because it's cracked, and just, I don't know, clean shit up. I might even just keep, you can see some of the trims missing here, and then the emblems. I might just peel that, all the rest of the shit off, and then fill the holes and just paint over it. So, I mean, it'll look a lot cleaner, and it won't hold rust. I don't know if you can tell, but a few of these trucks, I think it was like 84, 85 through 87, has this trim, and it just fucking, this shit just holds water. And they rust. This one, I mean, it's getting there. It hasn't rusted yet because this was a paint over. They just did a shitty respray, but at least they used a decent color, and actually they put a new paint coat in the door, which is nice. So I can always pick it up and touch stuff up. And it had a canopy on it, you can tell. There's caulking. Try to seal it up. It's got holes. But other than that, I mean, there really isn't any body work to do on this thing. It's not rusty. So, I'm not doing a hot rod thing. I'm not doing really anything other than, I mean, it's a good, honest work truck. You know, clean it up, make it aesthetically pleasing. Go through drivability issues, fix all the gauges. This one, I think, because the speedometer moves a little bit and then goes back, I don't think it's a speedo cable. These have like a electromagnetic, like pulsar, and they start going out, so you'll see it and you'll hit like 15 and it'll go nah, nah, or it'll bury all the way out and go back. So not a big deal. I mean, these trucks are so old that parts are so fucking cheap. It's amazing. I mean, if I'm into the thing, let's just say, between registering it and everything else, if I'm into it $500, I spend $500. I'm into it $1,000. For one, I know I can get it out of it. Two, if I do it right and clean the thing up right, sell it as an honest truck, I don't see why I shouldn't get two for it. Especially around here, people like these old trucks. You know, there's a lot around, so parts are cheap. You know, your legitimate, you know, $12 oil change. So that's it, boys. So yeah, you can kind of see the detail of, this is ice, so this isn't really what it looks like. See? But it's not all too bad. And for an 86 of being around here, it's not that rusty, like I've said, so it's worth actually putting work into. I mean, these things rot right here, the cab corners, all inside here. I mean, thing's pretty solid. I mean, it's still got black on the fucking frame. Just that exhaust is rotted to complete shit. You know, so they tried to fix it. Some of that exhaust wrap bullshit. Fucking aluminum foil. So we'll be seeing plenty of these. And then also the Jeep. This thing's always needing work. Every time I go out and wheel it, it needs work. And then of course, like I've mentioned, the $100 Geo shitbox rally car. See if I can get a better shot of it. This thing is a runner. It's gotten pretty fucked up since it's sitting on the downslope of the shop. It's gotten hammered with ice and snow. So that happened from the ice and snow. That happened from the ice and snow. And it's had some body work done from all the shit that falls off that fucking... See? I mean, this shit isn't... It'll snow here and then it'll rain. So, I mean, this is... When it comes off, I mean, it's fucking... Look at that. That's ice. So when you get... I don't know... I think that corrugated stuff's like 10 inches apart, 8 inches apart. So each slat you're getting in 10 inches, 100 pounds. So it hammers on your stuff pretty good. I've already pushed the roof out, it was caved in. So that's what's going on. I think we're almost at 10. We've got 9 vehicles here right now. Every single one of them needs something. So, even though work's slow, it's definitely not slowing home.